In this video, I'll talk about the option contract. This is the derivative security. There are two types of options. One is called the call option and the other one is called the put option. So the call option gives you the right to the buyer of the call option contract to buy the underlying asset at a specific price, which is also called the strike price or exercise price. This is just the right. So unlike a future contract where it's an obligation to settle the contract on the specific date, in case of options, the buyer of the contract has the right on the specific day when the contract is about to finish. If the market situation is in his favor, then he can decide not to exercise the contract altogether. Now, for example, I'll start to explain this concept with the call option contract. So, call option contract gives the owner the right but not the obligation to buy the underlying asset. Let's say it's the stock of some ABC company. If the strike price of that contract is $50, it means that the buyer of the option contract has the right to buy the stock from the seller of the call option contract at $50. If in the market the price turned out to be more than $50, he can simply go ahead and buy it at a lower price, which is $50, the strike price, which is actually the promise of the option contract seller to the buyer of the call option contract, that he will be paying, he will be giving him the share at $50. So why should he go into the market if the price is high? Or in the contrary, if the price in the market for that stock is say $45, then he will not exercise the option contract, and he will simply go from the market and buy at a cheaper price. So he will save $5 against each share. So these contracts are standardized like future. So every contract gives the right to the buyer of the call option contract to buy 100 shares of a of some specific stock, and say it's an Apple stock, right? Say now, if there is a I'm going to make a small chart over here, see, and this is the strike price, say over here, $50, right, for a stock called ABC company stock, right? If the if in the market, in the exchange market, the price of this stock turned out to be more than $50, then obviously the buyer will go and buy the contract, buy the share under the contract at $50, rather more than $50. Why should he go and pay more? So it means he is in the money. This zone is in the money for the contract call option contract buyer. And if it is beyond this point over here somewhere, right, so he is out of money because he will not exercise the contract. Now, what is the benefit of the call option seller? The benefit is this, that he will get the premium. In future, there is no exchange of cash right upfront when the deal is being made. Only when the deal will settle, at that time the underlying asset and the cash will exchange hands, right? In case of option, the buyer of the option, the contract, or the call and put option contract, he needs to pay the premium for each share. So for example, if the premium is $2 for each share, and under one contract 100, the like I'm sticking back to the call option contract, the buyer of the call option contract has the right to buy 100 shares. It means he needs to pay $2 multiplied by 100 shares, 200 premium to the call option contract seller. And this premium is basically give the incentive to the call option seller to come up and offer such contract. But again, depending on the market situation, this is the right of the call option buyer whether to exercise the contract or not to exercise the contract. In case of put option, the things are opposite. Now, the buyer of the put option seller has the right to sell the underlying asset, right? So sticking with the same example, if I say have 100 shares of ABC company, and I'm thinking that the I have an assessment that the price of these stock will go down. In order to hedge my risk, I might buy the put option contract and settle at some exercise price. Say it's again the same $50. So if it is $50, somewhere over here is $50, like on the x-axis, and on the left side you have less than $50, and on the right side you have more than $50. Then if the price of this share which I already have will be more than $50, I will simply go and sell these shares in the market because I will be getting more over here, right? This thing, I do not have to exercise the put option contract. But if so, it means I'm out of the market being the buyer of the put option contract when I'm in this zone. But if this stock which I have will be trading at the expiration of the contract below $50, say $40, I do not have incentive to sell it in the open market. But the good thing is this, that I have already bought the put option contract which is giving me the right to sell at $50 at the exercise price. So this is my benefit. I will sell at $50 rather selling at $40 to the in the exchange market. I will sell at $50 to the put option contract seller. So again over here, when I'm buying this put option contract, the seller of the put option contract will be charging me the premium. That can be any premium. It can be $3. So for example, he's charging $3 premium for each share, and under one contract there is a right to sell 100 shares. So 3 multiplied by 100, it will generate the premium 300 for the put option contract seller, and I need to pay that. And again, it means that if the market will be in my favor, means if it will be more than 50, then I will simply go and sell it in the open market, but and get the higher proceed. But if it is below 50, then it is better to sell to the put option contract seller who agreed to give me $50 for each share, right? So this specific price is called, at which we will both settle, is called strike price or the exercise price. There are two types of contract like options: American and European. American option can be exercised anytime up to and including the expiration date, while the European can be exercised only on the expiration date. Again, the difference between the future and the option is this, that the holder of the call option has no obligation to buy the underlying asset. Like in future, once you enter into a transaction, you have to settle it. You cannot get out of that transaction. But depending on the market situation, the buyer of the option contract has the right to buy the underlying asset or sell the underlying asset. If the markets are in his favor, then he will exercise the option. Otherwise, he will simply let that option expire. So there is no obligation on him. To avoid this obligation, buyer of call and puts must pay a price, which I just mentioned. It's a premium. Otherwise, there does not make any sense where the seller of the option contract is giving the right to the buyer of the option contract to exercise the option. Like, there needs to have some incentive to the seller of the option contract, and that incentive is simply the premium which he will charge from the buyer of the option contract. Now, what are the potential gain and losses for call option, where the buyer of the option contract has the right to sell the underlying asset? We are sticking with the example of the shares at some specific price, which is the strike price. So coming to the same example, if we have $50 as a strike price, again moving on the right hand side means that increase in the price of the share, and on the left hand side means decrease in the price of the share. So it means that if price will be above 50 and above 50 over here, he has incentive to buy the underlying asset, which is the stock, from the seller of the call option contract at $50. Why should he pay more in the stock market if when he can he has already had a deal to buy 100 shares or at $50 each, right? So he simply can pay $5,000, right, and buy 100 shares, right? But before that, he has paid some premium, right? What is that premium? Sticking to the same example, say if he has given $2 premium. So upfront, the buyer of the call option contract has given $200, because again, under each contract there are 100 shares on which he has a right to buy, right? So buyer will profit when the market price minus the strike price is greater than the option premium. What does it mean, by the way? It means that, let's suppose, if the price turned out to be $51, so somewhere over here, $51, right? Where he will go to buy the share? Will he buy from the seller of the call option contract, or will he go to the stock market? Obviously, he will go to the seller of the call option contract and he'll buy at 5,000, right? But does it mean he generated a profit? He just saved $100, because in the stock market he had to pay 5,100 to buy the 100 share, but he simply needs to pay 5,000 to the seller of the call option, right? So he saved over here $50. So that's actually the positive thing, right? It's a sort of a cash inflow to him, but he already have paid the premium, which is minus. So he paid 200, but he saved 100. So his net loss is still $100 minus 200 plus 100, which is equal to minus 100. So in order to have break even, the price needs to be in the stock market at least $52. In that case, he will basically make the break even. There will be no profit at all. And if the price is more than 52 in the stock market, say 53, in that case, he has saved $300 from exercising the option, because he bought at the 100 share from the seller of the call option contract at $5,000, and rather paying 5,300 to the stock market, he saved 300, but he have already paid this 200 premium. So his net profit in that case is actually $100. So dollar 300 he's saving by exercising the option, but he paid the premium of 200. So his net saving is $100. Is it clear? So this shows that what does it mean by this line? The profit when the market price minus the strike price is greater than the option premium. So like in that situation, buyer can make the profit. Now theoretically, in best case scenario, he can have unlimited profit. For example, what happened with Tesla? So Tesla just jumped in a matter of few months from almost 300 to dollar 1,500, right? 1.5 right now, right? 1,500. So it can be even 5,000. Theoretically, there are unlimited profits for the buyer of the call option contract. And the worst case scenario is this, that he will lose his all premium 200. Say if the in the stock market the same share is available now for $45, for $45. So he simply have to pay 4,500 to buy the 100 shares from the stock market. Why should he pay 5,000 to the seller of the call option contract? But in doing so, how much he has lost? He has lost the initial premium. That's it. This is his worst case scenario, right? Now come to the seller. When he will make a profit when the market price minus the strike price is less than the option premium, right? So if anything, if the price of the shares is somewhere between 50 to 52, in fact just below 52, he'll make a profit. Above 52, because at 52, if the buyer of the call option premium call option contract exercise the option, right? So he will save maximum of $200, but he has already paid $200 as a premium. In that case, his net profit is zero. So he didn't lose anything, he didn't gain anything, right? But anywhere below 52, in between 50 to 52, in that case, in fact, like definitely he will have the seller of the call option contract will still be in profit. Below 50, definitely he's in profit, because if they say the stock is getting traded at 49.5, the option will not be exercised, and the buyer of the call option will simply buy the share somewhere from the stock market below $50. But the main thing is between 50 to 52, $50 to 52, because why we are making this range of 52, because the premium was $2. So that range has been created because of this. If the premium would have been $5, then the range will be from 50 to $55, right? So anywhere between 50 to $55, the seller of the call option premium will still be benefited with this transaction, right? So if you see that the profit when the market price minus the strike price is less than the option premium, it means the same thing. So best case scenario is that for the seller of the call option premium, that he will get, like, he will retain the whole premium, and worst case scenario is that there could be unlimited losses as well, right? What if the strike price, the share whose strike price is settled at $50 for the call option, and the price of that stock turned out to be 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000, right? The option will be exercised, and the seller of the call option in this case has to buy these stocks from the open market at a higher price and give it to the buyer of the call option contract at $50. So there are unlimited losses as well. Now, many people might be thinking, or you might be thinking, that why we these options we are basically are in the market. So originally they are actually designed to manage the risk. B- Just imagine if you wanted to buy some shares, right? And you go into the option and buy the call option. In that case, you are certain that I need to pay, I'm certain that the cost for me to buy those 100 shares will not be more than $50. So you are very certain, so you manage your risk. You wanted to eliminate the risk. You wanted to put a cap at which, the maximum cap at which you want to buy those shares, right? So you manage your risk over here. But the thing is this, that actually in option market, most of the, in the derivative market overall, futures and even forwards, and over here in the options, most of the speculators are sitting, they are doing the speculations. So one party, what is happening over here, that the seller of the option contract and the buyer of the option contract, they are taking the opposite positions. So the seller of the option contract is call option contract is thinking that the this stock will not be above $50. It will be definitely below, or below 50. That's why he is very confidently selling the contract, right? These the buyer of the call option contract, he is, might be based on his calculation, he's very much certain that the prices will go above 50. So this, if this is the speculation, only in that case he will be buy the call option contract in this case, right? So they are taking the opposite position. There are many speculators sitting in the derivative market, option market, and they actually bring the liquidity to the market. This is good for those people who are the genuine users of the derivatives. A person who genuinely want to buy the stock and want to limit his risk and does not want to pay more than $50, he might be very happy to buy this call option contract. And he set his limit that at least he do not have to pay more than $50 for each share, plus the premium. He obviously have given the premium, whatever is the premium. It can be $3, $4, $5, $6, but whatever is the premium getting charged by the seller of the call option contract. Now let's move to the other contract, which is the put option contract. In that case, the things are opposite. Now the buyer of the put option contract is this, for some student it's like bit tricky. He's buying this put option contract, but this put option contract is giving him the right to sell, rather to buy the underlying asset, right to sell. So say if will be getting 100 shares in future of some ABC company, and I'm very much concerned that what price I will get. So I want to limit my risk again, and I want to sell that these stocks not below $40. So if the strike price is $40 and I bought this put option contract, it means that if price will be below 40, say over here $35, I can still sell this because I have a right to sell to the seller of the put contract, option contract, at $40. So I'll save $50, right? Minus whatever premium I has paid. Let's suppose if the premium is $3 in this case, right? If the dollar is 3, then under each contract I have the right to sell 100 shares, and 100 multiplied by this premium is in terms of each share, and their 100 share multiplied by 3 will give me $300 premium. This is what I have paid to the seller of the put option contract, right? So if the price turned out to be 35 at the expiration, and and I have a European, say, option, and on the expiry date I'm exercising my option, because the market is giving me 35, but the seller of the put option contract is giving me $40 for my each share. So 100 share multiplied by 5, because the difference is 5, I saved 500 by exercising the option, but I've already paid this premium over here, right? So minus 300, what is my net profit? It's $200, right? If the stock market is paying me say 41, it's by the way very far away from the 41, so let's put somewhere over here, right? $41. In that case, I will not exercise the option because market is giving me more than 40 more than the exercise price. So how much market is giving me? For my 100 share, market is giving me 41 multiplied by $100, 4,100. But what is my profit? Did I make the profit? My net profit, it seems like I made $100, but remember I have already paid 300. So my net loss is 200 because $100 I saved. $100 I saved, but I lost 300 in premium. So my net loss is $200, right? Right. So I'll make the break even if the the price of these stock turn out to be 43 and anywhere above 43. So if this is somewhere over here, say it's 44, in that case I'll get net profit. This is 44, very terrible 44. I do not have a Apple Pencil with me, so $44. If this is 44, then I saved I sold the stock in the stock market, my 100 shares for 4,400 compared to if I would have sold it to the seller of the put option contract at 4,000. So I saved $400 minus my premium which I have paid 300. So my net profit is 100, right? So again, it's the right of the put option contract buyer whether to exercise the contract or not depending on the market situation, right? So now the profit the buyer of the put option contract will make when the strike price minus the market price is greater than the option premium, which I just have explained, right? So like if he is just saving $100 and he has paid 300 premium, he still made a loss. But if in this situation where the price turned out to be in the stock market $44 for my share and I will get 4,400, even though I paid 300 premium over here, my net profit is $100. So this is what is meant by this line, right? So best case is this, that the market price is zero. If my stocks become worthless, I will still I have the right to sell at this $40, right? So I'll be able to sell for 4,000 my 100 shares and my net profit will be 3,700. Remember, I paid 300 in premium, right? What is the worst case scenario? I will lose my whole premium, the same thing. The situation of the seller is opposite. So in this over here, being a buyer of the put option contract in this zone, this whole zone, I'm in the money, right? And over here, I'm out of the money. The situation is different for the seller. So the profit when the strike price minus the market price is less than the option premium. Obviously, anywhere over here, the seller of the put option contract is at benefit. He'll keep his whole $300 premium, right? But let's suppose if I will start moving on the left hand side, right, and say the share prices turn out to be $37, right? I'll go and exercise the price, exercise the premium, sorry, the put option, and I'll save $300 because the market was paying me only 3,700 because the price of each share is $37, but I sold at 4,000. But still, the seller of the put option contract will not be doing a loss over here because he already I saved $300, but the 300 I also paid him in the shape of premium. So he won't do any loss, right? So worst case scenario is this, that the market price becomes zero. If the market price of this underlying asset is zero, what is his loss? His loss in this situation will be 3700, because the asset which is worth of zero, he still have to buy from me at 4000, but he also got the premium from me. So 4000 minus 300, he will be having $3700. So this is how the options work, the put options and the call options work. Over here, just look, this is a the quote of the call option contracts over here and the put option contracts over here. So for this, this is the call option contract, giving a right to the buyer of the call option to buy the Nike stock at $95. So this is the strike price. Now, what is the difference between this bid and ask price, right? And what is this last price? So the last price saying that the last such stock was getting traded at the premium of $11.8 per share. So it means the buyer of the call option contract paid how much? He paid $1,180 as a premium, because there are 100 shares. So this is the price of each share, and if you multiply 100 with this, because under each contract there are 100 share covered. So 100 if I will buy this call option, this will give me the right to buy the 100 share at each share at a $95 price. This one over here, this one, $95 price, and I need to pay $11.8 for each share to the seller of the call option contract. So I needed to pay 1180, 11.8 multiplied by 100, right? So this was the last trade happened at this premium. But when the current charges can be different, because it might be the new information has been floated. So the last price does not mean that we will still be able to buy the call option contract at the same premium. It might be changed. So for example, this is right now the charges, the bid and ask. What does it mean? If I will go to the dealer and buy, like if I will go to the dealer and wanted to sell him the call option contract, where I am giving the right to the dealer to buy the underlying stock of the like Nike, in this case Nike stocks at $95, then he will be paying me the premium of $16.9 for each share. So how much for 100 share? Because each contract is covering 100 share, he will be paying me 1690. But let's suppose I wanted to buy the contract from the put call contract from the dealer, then I needed to pay this ask price. So he's asking for this price, so I need to pay him $1710 as a premium. And remember this thing, dealer basically make the money from this difference between the bid price and ask price. So when I have to pay the premium, right, I need to pay more to get the right to buy the 100 shares of Nike at the strike price of $95, versus the dealer. If I'll be selling him the right, means I'll be selling the call option contract, and he will be buying this contract where he will be having the right to buy the underlying Nike stock from me at $95. He will be paying me the premium for each share at $16.90. So means for 100 share, 16.9 multiplied by 100, it will generate $1690 premium, which he needed to pay me. So I need to pay him more if I'm getting the right, I'm buying the call option contract, and if he'll be buying the call option contract, then he will be paying me, the dealer will be paying me less premium. So I hope this made very clear sense that how options are worked, both the call options and put option, and how they are quoted in the market. Thank you.